Cregan here. Another tutorial video for you guys. Let's get right into it. I'm taking my Babyliss clippers with 1.5 guard closed, and I'm going up to the parietal ridge crown area of the head, and I am clearing out some space here to put a nice fade in. Not following the head, I'm not rounding in. I'm really just trying to stay up and down here and create some nice shape on the side of the head. So I did some of this fade with the Gamma Ergos. I've been trying to use them more. I'm going to be doing a review on them soon. I've really liked them for detailing fades lately. So this is what I'm using right here. And I have that lever on closed position, and I'm just putting in that bald guideline. So a lot of the time when I'm cutting, I like to just put in the guideline with the blade facing up towards the ceiling. I don't always draw it in, but for the tutorial videos I do draw it in just to make it a little bit clearer for you guys to see. So that's what I'm doing here, just making sure that it's clean and even all the way around and easier for you guys to see where the initial guideline is. So that's what I'm doing here. Going back through, making sure all that hair is cut evenly to a 0. I'm going to grab my trimmers. I'm using the Gold FX Babyliss trimmers here, and we're just going to go underneath what we just did and get that real close. We're going to grab our shavers and go right underneath the trimmer line that we just did. I'm flicking out, trying to flick right into the section that we just did with the trimmers. If there is a line, I'll tap down on it most of the time. You can either try to tap down on it or just flick out a little bit more, pulling the skin tight. Those are all little tips and tricks that I use to get out any line with the shaver. In my opinion, the shaver can leave the harshest line a lot of the time, so it's really important that we have some different strategies to get that line out. I'm really curious to use, I'm thinking about grabbing the Gamma single foil trimmer, or shaver rather, just to give that a try and see how that is. I don't know if I would like that. I really enjoy having both of the foils, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my 1 guard, I'm going to throw out my clipper here with the lever on open, and I'm going to work underneath the 1.5 guard close that we did in our first step. Being very careful to not go up past that 1.5 closed guideline that we did earlier. I'm really just trying to stay underneath it, and here's a little bit more of a close-up for that. Just staying right underneath it. So I still have my lever on open, going up, just kind of flicking out, trying to have it blend right in. workspace clean, brushing off any loose hairs that might be on the head there. Want to make sure all the hair is going in the same direction, so when I'm cutting it, it's cutting nice and even. So you can see that I started to close the lever here. Now I'm working right underneath the one open that we just did previously. So at the throttle ridge right now, you got a 1.5 closed. Right under that, you have a 1 open. Right under that, you have a 1 closed. Now we'll switch back to the gammas, and I have the lever on closed. I'm just bumping up that initial guideline a little bit. I'll throw the lever on open and just go right above that. So just taking out that initial guideline, and you can see the blend really starting to come together. You'll see me mess around with the lever here. Use the corner of the blade, just touching up any dark spots that I might see. These gammas have been really nice. They're pretty quiet. They're a magnetic motor. As far as detailing goes, they're really nice, really powerful, clean cutting for sure. If you guys are thinking about grabbing those, check out my other video on the Gamma Ergo clippers. I go over in depth, what I think about them, the pros, the cons, and some good stuff in there. So definitely give that a check. This side of the head, all I did there was the lever open, and you could see that guideline pretty much disappeared. There's definitely some detailing I have to do, but you can usually, with most clippers, if you do your initial guideline with the lever closed and then you go back over it with lever open, you're gonna have to touch up some minor things, but most of the time you can get it almost blended just with those 2 steps if you do them correctly. Now I'll go back through and do some detailing. I got my FXs with the half guard on there, and I'm just messing around with the lever here, really just detailing this fade, getting it to look as crispy as I can. That's one of our barbers, Dustin, that just ran over there to grab some product. He's been with us for about 6 months now. And if you see those goggles that he was wearing, that's a New York State mandate. So I don't know where you guys are watching from, but New York has been super strict about the COVID regulations, and if we're doing any beard work or any facial treatments, we got to either wear a face shield with our mask or goggles with our mask. So that's why he's rocking the goggles. I'm curious, honestly, if you're watching this video from, wherever it might be, whether it's in the US or elsewhere, leave in the comments what you guys have to do for regulation for beard trims and if you have to wear masks and stuff. I'm not really too familiar with the other state laws, and I'm pretty curious what you guys have had to do and adjust to for 2020. So still just going through and detailing this fade. See some dark spots in the back there, so I'm really just trying to lighten those up and make this blend the best that I can. As you can see, I'm using the corner of the blade a lot there. I'm really just trying to lighten up above that zero line and that open line. Sometimes you just gotta go over your process, backtrack it and say, well, this is a dark spot, I gotta go back through this step and see if I can get it to look the right way, and go back through and trust your process, and the fade will come together. So I was trying to get that out with my half guard, and now you see that I take the half guard off. Just process of elimination, right? So if it's not coming out with the half guard, you gotta take the half guard out. If it's not coming out with lever open, you gotta close the lever a little bit. If your lever's on half, it's not coming out, close your lever. Use the corner of the blade. Really get in there, and if you can't get it out with your clippers, you gotta go down to trimmers and so on and so on. So just process of elimination. I can remember being a newer barber and getting really stressed out when I couldn't get something to work or get something to look the way I wanted it to. And all you really need most of the time is a little bit of patience and to step back and kind of take a breath and go back through your steps. So I finally got it looking how I want it to look now, and just doing some fine tuning here before we cut the top. Over comb, start to build that shape, and I'm just cutting the hair as it comes through the teeth. I'm not pushing my comb in super far into the parietal ridge or crown area. I'm really just following up the shape that I already made and started with the 1.5. Working our way around to the back. Is this short on the top, I don't mind cutting the crown or the colic down rather. I will cut it down pretty short. I think that it looks better. There's people who would say that you should cut that with scissors and whatever else, but for me, I think if someone's getting a high skin fade and pretty short on the top, I don't see why not shape the colic right into the haircut. I think it looks pretty good. It's something I especially do on kids' cuts. For kids who aren't getting ready in the morning and taking a shower every morning, putting product in their hair, and their parents wonder why their colic is standing straight up even after a haircut. That's because whoever's cutting their hair is leaving that colic long. So something to think about if you're doing a kid's cut and they're not the type of kid that's getting up in the morning to shower before school and do their hair. Maybe try cutting the colic down a little bit shorter. Could be something that they actually really like. So now we got the bottom shaped into the top. I'm going back through, just touching up some areas that I must have seen. So apologies about the camera angle here not the best, and that is really just me getting used to shooting videos in general, but especially the top. I got a new tripod and just didn't have it set up the way I wanted it, so you can't really see what I'm doing here that well, but I'm basically just making horizontal sections across the head, starting from the back, working my way to the front. And I'm not really taking a ton off anyway. She just wanted it evened out, so very light trim. Do a little bit of cross-checking in here, and I make sure that everything is looking good. She's pretty much someone who just gets finger length on the top. It's not a crazy styling for this haircut or anything. It's pretty basic on the top, so just making sure it's even here. Match the sides up, or the top up to the sides rather. And we'll go ahead and shave. So we'll do some razor work. Cut came out really nice. I feel that the way that the camera angles were, it didn't really do it a ton of justice, but it was a super clean cut. She was very happy with it. I was very happy with it. But all in good time. I'll get better with the camera and the angles. Some loose powder on the top, just kind of run my hands through it, trying to create some texture at the top of her hair, style it up a little bit, and that is really about it for this haircut. So you can see the fade there, does look pretty good, and yeah, I'll probably do another tutorial video on her haircut again in a little bit more depth. If you guys got any value from today, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, like the video. I'm going to be dropping some more videos coming out this week. I appreciate it, guys. Take care.